All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to step into the shoes of a senior architect who's facing a pretty massive challenge: getting a handle on a cloud storage environment that is completely out of control. We'll walk through this case study and see exactly how to turn that digital chaos into a model of really effective governance. So let's get started.
Have you ever had this feeling? You log into your cloud portal and you just realize you've inherited a digital attic? You know, this sprawling collection of storage accounts and files with absolutely no rhyme or reason. It's a super common problem, and it's exactly where our story kicks off.
Okay, so first things first, we've got to diagnose the issue. We're calling it the digital attic problem. You know, the first step to fixing any mess is really understanding just how messy it is and learning to spot those telltale signs of chaos. And believe me, the symptoms are usually staring you right in the face. We're talking dozens, maybe even hundreds of storage accounts with these totally cryptic names. Containers just filled with data from projects that ended years ago. You've got ancient file shares nobody's touched. And maybe the worst part, unmanaged snapshots just piling up, driving your costs through the roof and creating these huge unknown security holes. This isn't just clutter, it's a major business risk.
So once the problem's identified, our architect gets to put on their detective hat. This is the investigation phase, and it's all about discovering what's actually out there and starting that crucial process of classification. Because let's be real, you can't manage what you don't even understand. And the process has to be methodical, right? First, you inventory every single storage asset. Every single one. Next, and this part is absolutely critical, you identify who actually owns the data. Without an owner, nobody can make decisions. And finally, you classify that data based on its real value to the business. Is it critical production data, or is it just some forgotten logs from a test environment back in 2015?
Now, this is where it gets really eye-opening. The result of that investigation, well, check this out. A staggering 50% of all the data was completely unknown. No owner, no clear purpose, just there. Only a tiny fraction was actually active project data. This just perfectly shows the scale of the waste and the risk that was hiding in plain sight the whole time.
So, armed with all this knowledge, it is time to create the master plan. And listen, this isn't just about cleaning up the past. It's about building a governance blueprint to make sure this kind of chaos never, ever happens again. The cornerstone of this whole blueprint is a really cool concept called a storage pattern. Think of it like a repeatable recipe. So for a specific type of data, say application logs, the pattern defines exactly which Azure service to use, which storage tier, hot, cool, or archive, and what the lifecycle rules are going to be. It completely takes the guesswork out of provisioning storage.
And I mean, look at this. The difference is just night and day. We're going from the old way, total chaos, random accounts, paying for expensive premium storage for literally everything, to this new standard, purpose-built accounts with automated policies that put data in the right tier. It's a huge shift from reactive chaos to proactive, cost-effective governance.
All right, the plan is locked in. Now it's time for action. We're calling this phase the coordinated takedown. This is where our architect starts to methodically execute that cleanup plan.
But this is where you always hit the human element. The moment you propose deleting something, you hear this. It's that natural fear from application teams. They're worried that some ancient, unused piece of data might suddenly become critical. And it's a real and valid concern that you just have to address with empathy.
And really, the only way to get past that fear is through communication. The architect isn't just going in like a bull in a china shop deleting things. No, they coordinate with every single team, showing them the data, the costs, and the plan. They get buy-in before anything gets retired. It's that communication that prevents disruption and actually builds trust.
So the cleanup isn't some huge, terrifying, all-at-once event. No way. It's a phased process. In week 1, the team goes after the low-hanging fruit, like old orphan snapshots. Those are basically backups of disks that don't even exist anymore. Digital ghosts racking up your bill. Week 2, they consolidate all the scattered log containers. By breaking the project into these small, targeted actions, the whole thing becomes so much more achievable.
So after that initial cleanup, the final and frankly most important part of the journey begins, establishing the new order. This is the roadmap to make sure that the governance is going to last and that the digital attic never comes back.
And here's that roadmap, a really clear 4-phase plan you can apply yourself. First, enforce those new storage patterns for all new deployments. You gotta stop the bleeding. Second, go after the high-cost offenders you found in your investigation.
Third, clean up all that easy low-hanging fruit. And finally, you implement ongoing audits to make sure everyone stays compliant. This is a continuous cycle, not a one-and-done project.
So, after all that work, why does this matter so much? Well, the payoff is huge. You will dramatically reduce your cloud storage bill. I'm talking potential savings of 30, 40, even 50% just by getting rid of waste and using the right storage tiers. Your security posture improves immensely because you actually know what data you have and you can protect it properly. Deployments get faster and more reliable because of standardization. And maybe most importantly, you establish clear ownership and accountability for all of your data.
And that brings us to our final thought. Getting your cloud storage organized is a monumental achievement for sure. But the real challenge, the question I want to leave you with, is this. How will you keep it that way? Governance isn't a destination. It's an ongoing commitment to clarity and control.